Even if you've only watched 30 seconds of Star Trek, you've likely heard this being shouted.
Condition red alert.
Red alert. Red alert!
And sometimes this.
Yellow alert.
Yellow alert. Recommend we go to yellow alert, sir.
Why?
And on a rare occasion, this.
We are preparing to land the ship. Go to Blue Alert and report to Code Blue stations.
Throughout the nearly 60-year legacy of the Star Trek universe, we are constantly hearing Red Alert being shouted on various occasions. This is one of Star Trek's many alert signals that informs personnel about situations on board starships, starbases, ground bases, or just anything really. You can likely shout this in broad daylight and some red lights will probably start. But what do all of these actually mean, and what conditions warrant their usage? Today, we'll explore each alert condition in Star Trek, as well as the rare ones like Blue Alert and Grey Alert. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host, Captain Jack. If you do want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from a team here at Trek Central. We're enjoying making these Star Trek videos, and we hope you are too. If you want to support their development, check out our Patreon via the link below. Any support is greatly appreciated. As always, please let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, because if you're talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. Okay, engage. Let's start with some of the obscure Starfleet alert conditions before we discuss the well-known ones such as Red Alert and Yellow Alert. Generally, Blue Alert, or Condition Blue, was an alert status that was called in exceptional situations, including things like environmental hazards to the crew, a primary power failure, and docking or landing maneuvers. Let's look at some examples of where Blue Alert has been used. The earliest known use of Blue Alert was on board the refitted USS Enterprise, when the Constitution class returned to Space Dock 1 in 2285. The Starship's bridge lighting turned blue when it prepared to enter the space station. This suggests that onboard blue lighting represented docking, or perhaps Space Dock automatic docking control. In 2287, the Constitution II class Enterprise A used blue lighting when running on auxiliary power. Starfleet still used the Blue Alert in the 24th century. During 2367, the Galaxy-class USS Enterprise D experienced an apparent imminent environmental systems failure, which resulted in a Blue Alert being called for the affected areas. This informed potentially affected crew to evacuate those areas immediately. Both the captain and first officer were responsible for directing the crew to appropriate turbolifts to depart the area. This is seen in the Next Generation episode Brothers, and is the only instance of a Blue Alert being used on that series. It's worth noting, depending on what version of the episode you are watching, there is a post-production error on some copies, which makes the lighting red again. The Defiant class, USS Defiant, would use Blue Alert when engaging the onboard Romulan cloaking device. The Intrepid class USS Voyager used Blue Alert, which was more specifically used when the Starship commenced a landing.
Code Blue.
Commander Tuvok to all hands. Go to Blue Alert and report to Code Blue stations.
Atmospheric controls at standby. Landing struts online. Inertial dampers at maximum.
All operative decks report Condition Blue.
Bridge officers called Blue Alert to prepare the Starship and crew for either landing or takeoff. The crew must report to a Code Blue station to initiate either landing or liftoff procedures. We have seen at least 2 instances of this in Star Trek Voyager, in the episodes The 37s and Demon. It seems Blue Alert on the Intrepid class was more of a minimum required status when landing an Intrepid class starship. We say this as the USS Voyager did make a landing while at Red Alert in the episode Dragon's Teeth. The ship did this without switching to Blue Alert. We're also aware of the Prometheus class using the Blue Alert when the starship activated its multi-vector assault mode. This was seen in a Voyager episode, Message in a Bottle. It is possible that Blue Alert is rather more of a multi-purpose alert mode, dependent on the class of starship. Our only known usage of Black Alert, currently, is on board the Crossfield class USS Discovery and USS Glenn.
Black alert. Black alert. What's going on?
This alert signal was used by the Starship when it operated its experimental spore drive. It was also referred to as Condition Black on occasion. Another obscure alert status of Federation starships was Grey Mode. This alert status was used when the starship was operating on reserve power, which resulted in cutting power to non-essential decks and ship systems. This mode allowed a starship to conserve its remaining power. It would also be able to budget a ship's energy reserves in times of resource shortages or crisis. Many systems would either be reduced to their lowest possible operating status or shut down completely. And for example, the warp core would be brought to a cold shutdown. A ship's tactical sensors would only be used for primary functions, while the actual weapons, such as phasers and photon torpedoes, would be taken offline completely. Transporter usage was terminated, and food replicators were taken offline, resulting in the ship's crew diverting to emergency rations. If installed, all holodecks and holosuites would be taken offline. The recycling of non-essential items, which the replicator would break down into raw matter patterns, was commonly practiced. Throughout Star Trek, a few instances of grey mode are used. In the original series episode, The Savage Curtain, the USS Enterprise entered grey mode, with Sulu informing the bridge crew that the ship was running on reserve power. Typically, Federation starships were forced into grey mode. In the case of the Intrepid-class USS Voyager, which was stranded in the Delta Quadrant and away from resupply, the ship had to use grey mode in 2374 when the vessel's supply of deuterium was almost depleted. Grey mode allowed the ship to convert its remaining power for a short time. During the year-long temporal conflict with the Krenim Imperium, Voyager had entered this reduced power mode due to the starship suffering catastrophic damage. This would coincide with Red Alert still being used. It's worth noting that Emergency Level 7, which was used in the next generation on board the Enterprise D, operates similarly to grey mode. This emergency level also allowed a starship to take systems offline to conserve power. Green Alert, or Condition Green, was an alert status first used on Earth ships and later on Starfleet vessels. This status had a wide variety of uses, but was generally the regular status of vessels when not under threat or any other condition. Generally, a green alert also signified that the starship's systems were operating correctly. It seems that by the 24th century, this alert was not really used. Still, Deanna Troi referred to Green Alert as the board chose green in the Next Generation episode Encounter at Farpoint.
Engine room ready, sir.
The board shows green, Captain. All go.
Stand by.
We assume this is more of a phrase rather than the alert actually being in use. In the 32nd century, the USS Discovery A used Green Alert to indicate that it was operating its cloaking device. The second highest alert on board Federation starships and outposts was Yellow Alert. Typically, a Yellow Alert was called to prepare a crew for a possible crisis. This keeps your crew ready and standing by for potential emergency or battle situations. A Yellow Alert would typically bring a starship's defense fields and/or deflector shields to full power. The weapons would remain offline in this mode. This alert status can also be activated manually by a commanding officer in preparation for either a tactical or environmentally hazardous situation. If the situation escalates, the ship's commanding officer or main computer could order a red alert. We've seen a lot of notable uses of Yellow Alert in the Star Trek universe. In Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Admiral James T. Kirk ordered a Yellow Alert when the hijacked USS Reliant commenced an intercept course against the Enterprise. A rare case of Yellow Alert on board a starship was when the experimental USS Excelsior was docked in Space Dock 1. In 2285, when Admiral Kirk and his senior staff started stealing the Enterprise, the Excelsior went to Yellow Alert and ordered the captain to the bridge. Captain Stiles was rather confused on why a Yellow Alert was even possible inside of Space Dock 1.
Yellow alert. Captain to the bridge. Yellow alert.
Bridge, this is the captain. How can you have a yellow alert in Space Dock?
Sir, someone is stealing the Enterprise.
I'm on my way.
Alert, yellow alert. All stations, yellow alert. Alert, yellow alert. All stations, yellow alert.
On one occasion, we've seen a fleet-wide Yellow Alert. In 2366, Captain Picard was informed that all Federation starships were on Yellow Alert due to the threat of a possible Romulan invasion. This action could suggest a fleet-wide order comes from Starfleet Command or even the Federation Council. In times of tense situations, such as the Borg threat, Commander William T. Riker ordered a standing Yellow Alert on the Enterprise D. It suggests that a Yellow Alert could last for multiple hours to keep the crew prepared for a possible battle situation. Starbases and deep space stations could also operate on a Yellow Alert. In 2369, Commander Sisko ordered a Yellow Alert when an unknown alien vessel arrived from the Gamma Quadrant via the Bajoran wormhole at Deep Space Nine. The highest alert status, and the one most commonly known to everyone, is Red Alert.
Red alert. All hands to battle stations.
Otherwise known as Condition Red or Code Red. Commencing Red Alert would result in an alarm sounding on all decks, as well as the lights dimming and status lights turning to red. Red Alert was typically triggered when Starfleet vessels, or even Starbases, commenced combat situations, or in the case of a critical systems failure. Red Alert was right above Yellow Alert and would bring weapons and shields to full power, preparing the Starship, or Starbase, for full combat. This alert status was not just for combat situations, but could be called in the event of various other emergencies. These include, but are not limited to, a starship being boarded, security alerts, system failures, warp core breaches, radiation exposures, evacuation orders, and even medical emergencies. To activate a red alert, the commanding officer either did this or whoever was in charge, or it could be triggered automatically when the starship was attacked. In some cases, non-ranking crewmen were able to activate red alert. This would likely involve them being given permission to do so. Raising the starship shields typically triggered a red alert on some starships. If a Federation starship commences a self-destruct sequence, then a red alert is typically automatically triggered. On older starships, it was possible that certain sections could be placed on red alert while others would remain at a lower alert status. Likely, this was determined by the computer. In 2287, Commander Pavel Chekhov would place the USS Enterprise A on red alert when a Klingon bird of prey decloaked. In 2366, while the USS Enterprise D attempted to rescue Chief Engineer Geordi LaForge, Captain Picard placed the Galaxy-class starship on red alert when the Romulans crossed the neutral zone to also look for their crewmen. In 2373, the USS Enterprise E went to red alert before heading to Earth for the Battle of Sector 001. Starfleet vessels and stations would also use a battle station's general alarm, which operated in the same way that red alert did. However, this was apparently made in addition to the red alert condition. It is possible there were minor differences between red alert and battle stations. For example, personnel aboard the USS Defiant and Deep Space Nine would carry Type 2 phasers when a battle station's alarm was in effect. The USS Enterprise E also adopted this in 2379, perhaps due to events of the Dominion War. Before the time of the Federation, United Earth Starfleet vessels such as the NX-01 operated with a tactical alert. This security protocol would be instituted by Lieutenant Malcolm Reed in 2152. It came about after Reed was under the influence of a dangerous mind-affecting radiation. Eventually, the protocol was kept due to their usefulness. This would serve as a precursor to the color-coded alert system used on later Starfleet vessels. The tactical alert operated in a similar manner to a red alert that would come decades later. The alert automatically activated the ship to battle ready status, meaning weapons and defense systems were online and ready to use. By the 23rd century, Starfleet was using the red and yellow conditions. Still, the USS Voyager would use a tactical alert in the Delta Quadrant. It is possible that tactical alert still just refers to red alert in the same way that battle stations does. Starfleet vessels and space stations also used an evacuation alarm. While on some ships this was similar, if not the same as, red alert, other vessels like the Defiant class would use a different sound. For example, when the USS Valiant sustained heavy damage, Nog initiated an evacuation alert from the Con station. During the Second Battle of Chantoka, the USS Defiant was crippled by a Breen energy dissipator and lost all power. As such, Captain Sisko ordered an evacuation, which had the computer commence the evacuation alarm.
Abandon ship. You heard me. Everyone get to the escape pods. Now!
Multiple other alerts, or general alarms, have been used in Star Trek. These include things like Alert Status 4, Battle Alert, General Quarters, Intruder Alert, Proximity Alert, Standby Alert, and many more. So that's our overview on every alert condition in the Star Trek universe. Did we miss one? Is there one you would like to see used a little bit more within the Star Trek universe? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. As mentioned at the start, we're enjoying making these Star Trek videos. Honestly, we really are. And we hope you're enjoying watching them. If you want to support their development, check out our Patreon via the link below. Any support is greatly appreciated. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.